Hi, everyone. Adam Oakes here with Planet Technologies Managed Services team, and this is your Play of the Week. So, we're approaching the end of January, starting the first month of the year, and so far there's been some pretty exciting changes coming out about Microsoft and Microsoft 365. As I was looking over the roadmap changes for the week, there was something that really stood out to me as potentially being a game changer for certain customers and the government community space. So, if you've been around the email world for a while, you invariably know what SMIME encryption is. What the acronym actually stands for doesn't necessarily matter, but SMIME was one of the first versions of email encryption that really came out and became widely accepted and used in the email space. Specifically, SMIME is a peer to peer encryption software where you go through and each typically have an SSL cert and can go in and sign your email with a unique key. You then provide that key to whoever you're sending the message to, and they can essentially decrypt your mail on the other side of it. Similarly, they have a SSL cert that they can go through and encrypt their mail, provide you the appropriate key, and you can decrypt their messages. This has been used for a very long time, and specifically, that peer to peer method is how email worked for the longest time. Well, Microsoft changed that a little bit whenever they came through and started really working on Microsoft 365 and Office 365 as a whole. Now, the generally accepted norm is Office 365 message encryption. If you're doing OME or Office 365 message encryption, the encryption is done at a server level by Microsoft. And rather than being a peer to peer transmission where you're required to have SSL certs for everyone doing this, it's actually handled by Microsoft at the server level, providing an encrypted email and keeping the secure boundaries that you need in place for encryption. In short, it saves most people a lot of money because you don't have to go out and buy a ton of SSL certs. Well, some parts of the government still haven't basically caught up with the times or have their own security reasons for not doing so. In particular, the Department of Defense or the US Army both still require SMIME communication when you're going through and working with them on anything that's relatively sensitive or classified. In fact, if you go through and send an Office 365 message encrypted email to someone with a .mil or a DoD email address, it actually won't work due to some security settings that exist for the Department of Defense and the Army where they strip out certain types of attachments. How Office 365 message encryption works, it delivers a message with an HTML attachment that ultimately redirects people to an online web portal for them to see their encrypted message. Because this is stripped out, you literally cannot do Office 365 message encryption with partners or with people you're working with continually who have those .mil or Army/DoD email addresses. As such, I was super excited when I saw this update come out. Essentially, what the new update is they're going to allow you to have the option of doing Outlook on the web to support SMIME as one of the encryption options you can do with a sensitivity label. What this will basically mean is from Outlook on the web or OWA, when you log in, you can basically label or classify that message with an SMIME label. And when going out of the system, it will actually go through and add that SMIME level encryption for peer to peer communication with another user. What this is going to allow you to do is essentially allow you to send potentially direct encrypted messages for peer to peer to .army or .mil accounts without having to jump through some of the loops that currently exist. For instance, right now, the most common way that customers go through and deploy SMIME is through an Active Directory that they go through and associate the SSL certs on the back end. Well, what do you do if you're a company that no longer has an Active Directory? This is a cloud modern world. If you started your company in the last 5 years, there's a good chance you don't have an on-premise Active Directory. Or if your company's 30-year-old, but you're just, modern and up to date on the times, traditional AD is kind of becoming the thing of the past, at least for cloud-focused organizations. So again, super happy to see this. Wanted to provide the context of why I thought this was cool. I'll be interested to see how this actually works in production. Now, this was listed as in development, which is our second status of going through. It means they're going through and looking at it and being aware of where people stand. But it actually was set originally for release for calendar year 2022 in December. We're a month past that, so clearly it hasn't actually come out. I think they just haven't updated the roadmap time yet. Regardless, I'm super excited to see this come out and see how it will work in practice. And I know many of you in the government space will actually potentially benefit from this as well. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you have a good rest of your month. And sorry for the slightly longer this week, Play of the Week. Bye.